Hi, my name is CJ Mitchell, and I am the Community Access Coordinator here at CAM St. Louis. I want to welcome you to our virtual drop-in workshop. And today in our virtual drop-in workshop, we will be looking at a piece of art that we currently have on exhibition here at CAM, and then doing an art activity that is inspired by that artwork. And the artist that we're going to focus on is Ebony G. Patterson. The piece is called "And the Dew Cracks the Earth in 5 Acts of Lamentation, Between the Cuts, Beneath the Leaves, Below the Soil." Ebony G. Patterson's artwork can be described as lavish, opulent, and captivating, even as it deals with complex issues of pain and oppression. And across her work is the unifying theme of gardens and flowers. For Patterson, the garden is a metaphor for control and colonialism. She uses beauty and embellishment as a way to draw the viewer in for a closer look. Once we are there, we discover that these vibrant artworks have tears in the paper, incomplete body parts, and other clues that the scene is less delicate than at first glance. Her artworks are an invitation to reflect on cycles of destruction and creation, both their beauty and violence. Let's look at the artwork together. What materials were used? The artist uses colored paper, photographic images, and printed paper. Did you notice the plastic roaches and butterflies? What has the artist done to change these materials? The artist uses paper and cuts out some of the objects as they are depicted, but she also used paper and cuts it to be another object. For example, there's a hand or a foot cut out from a beautiful floral print. The paper also has been torn and layered. Did you notice other ways the materials have changed? What is the narrative that is being told in the 5 panels? There are 3 figures of women that can be found in 4 of the panels. In the first panel, I noticed there is only one woman, and she appears as if she is in anguish or upset. Her arms are raised as if she would be crying out. In the second panel, there are 3 women. 2 women are standing over the third woman. She is lying on the ground in the garden and her arms raised. I wonder if she's trying to protect herself from the other 2 women. The middle panel has no human bodies in it. It appears as if the animals and flowers of the garden have taken over, but left behind the humans' accessories, such as shoes and purses. In the fourth panel, the 2 women are helping the third woman, whose body is slumping down, and the other 2 are trying to get her to her feet. And it makes me wonder what has happened to this third woman. In the final panel, the 3 women seem to be content, 2 standing upright with shoulders back, and the third squatting in a resting position. Here, I start to notice that there might be a level of hierarchy among the women, that maybe the 2 standing figures are older than the third, maybe a mother or a grandmother figure. In the other panels, there was a conflict or a problem, but at this point, things have now been resolved. 3-dimensional butterflies move freely around the inside and the outside of the frames. I think about the symbolism of butterflies and the transformation that butterflies go through from being a caterpillar to becoming a butterfly. And does this transformation relate to what has happened to the women in this panel? There is a beauty and richness that can be found in her artwork. Can you come up with other words that could be used to describe it? What words did you come up with to describe it? Some that pop into my head are opulent, vibrant, entangled, and abundant. Now that we've been inspired by the artwork of Ebony G. Patterson, let's make some art. For today's artwork, we're going to be making paper butterflies and flowers, which are symbolism that can be found throughout Ebony G. Patterson's work. Okay, let's take a look at the materials that we need today. Magazines, scissors, glue, construction paper, cardboard. First, we're going to make a butterfly. You will need 1 magazine page, glue, and scissors. I'm not going to use this whole page to make a butterfly. I am going to cut it in half. I'm going to use this piece. The first thing I'll do is fold it in half right in the middle, make a crease. You open it back up and then fold in one half to that crease line and fold in the other half to that crease line. So now it kind of looks like a pamphlet. If you open it up, you have 1, 2, 3 creases. So now you want to fold that back into the middle, and then all the edges you want to fold out as if you're making a paper airplane. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. You want to keep the paper just like this, so you have the 4 ends out, and you flip it over, and you will start to fold it back and forth like an accordion. Okay, so now at this point you kind of see the beginning of the butterfly. Cut a new little skinny strip of paper, fold it in half, and then cut evenly in the middle, fold it in half, and then you're going to curl it to make the antennas. So you use the edge of the scissors and curl. So now you take a little bit of glue, re-squeeze your butterfly, and you'll kind of hold it in place and let the glue set. Then you can take a little strip, put a little bit of glue at one end, and get my butterfly back together. So right in the middle where you have the antennas, you can put the glue side and then just wrap the strip around the butterfly. When you get to the end, take a little bit more glue and then attach it and let it, you can hold it for a second till the glue sets. I think that's good. And so now you have a butterfly with antennas, but if you really want it to look like a butterfly, you could take the 2 ends and put a little bit of glue. And then hold it together for a second. Okay, and you have your butterfly. And that's how you make a butterfly. It doesn't matter what size paper you use, just it can be any size. All right, now we're gonna make a stem. I am not gonna use this whole sheet of paper. I'm gonna cut it in half. And to make a stem, what you will do is pick a diagonal end and begin to roll the paper up. As you come to the end of the paper, you can take a little bit of glue and then roll that over. Kind of hold it in place so the glue can set. And you have a stem. Doesn't matter what size paper you use for this either. And now we're going to make a flower. All right, same idea. If you tear a piece of paper out of a magazine, just make a straight edge. I'm not going to use the whole piece of paper, but you can. I'm going to fold it down the middle and then cut it in half. So now I'm gonna take the paper and I'm going to fold it to meet the other edge and put a crease in it. We're gonna cut this piece of paper, but before I cut it, just to remind me not to cut all the way through, I'm gonna turn the open side and fold it up. And then this will remind me not to cut to the edge of the paper. So now I'm just gonna cut on the folded side. I'm gonna make little bitty cuts going down to that crease, but I don't wanna cut through. I cut all the way to the other end. Now I'm gonna take glue, and I'm just gonna put it on the creased edge I still have. And now I'm gonna take my stem and then take one end of the stem on the glue area and then slowly and gently roll the paper with the glue on the end around the stem. You could keep it straight, but I think it's easier just to have it kind of cascade down the paper stem. Okay, I come to the end and then I'll probably hold it in place so that the glue can set. Now you can add a leaf after I think this is set. So if you want to add leaves to your flower, you can take a magazine sheet and cut like a rectangle shape. You can make 2 leaves out of 1 rectangle shape by folding it in half, and then just cut out a basic shape of a leaf. All right, so that gave me 2 leaves, and now I can take the lower end, put a little glue, and then attach it towards the bottom of the flower, kind of hold it in place till it sets. And I'm sticking to my finger. All right, and then you can do the other one. Okay, so now you have a beautiful flower with leaves attached. Now, another kind of flower you can make is a curly flower. You can use a whole piece or small sheet. I'm gonna use a small sheet of magazine. And basically, I am going to put a crease on one side. This just reminds me not to cut all the way to the edge because I don't want to cut all the way to the edge. And now I'm gonna make slightly larger cuts to the crease. Okay, this one might be a little bit more tricky because newspaper is so delicate, but if you want to curl the edges, you can use the edge of scissors and slowly, carefully and slowly run it up the edge of the paper, and it gives it a little bit of a curl. Yep, see that happens. And you'll do this to the end of the strips. That did it again. Once I curled all the little fringes, depending on how you want it to, you can glue it down. You can put glue on this side or you can put glue on this side. Let's be adventurous, we'll put glue on this side. And this is in the area where you made that little crease to remind you not to cut all the way through. All right, now you'll take it and wrap it around the stem. And the same idea as the first flower. All right, you got a nice little fun kind of whimsical flower, and you can, again, if you want to make some leaves, like a rectangle, and cut a leaf shape out, and then put glue on the end, and then add it to your stem, hold it in place, and it'll set. All right, next, okay. All right, so we're gonna use this red piece of construction paper as our background, but we're gonna make a frame for our flowers. So we're gonna use cardboard for it. You're going to need 4 pieces of cardboard. That will be the outer part of your picture. And so I've cut some pieces of cardboard already. I am going to have them be maybe like 1 inch wide. And so I'm gonna take a ruler, and I think I'm just gonna make them be the width of the ruler. So I'm gonna use the edge of the ruler, and I'm going to make 2 lines. This will be the bottom and the top of my frame. And then I'll take the longer piece of cardboard and use the width of the ruler. Make 2 lines. And now I'm gonna cut. Now I'm gonna cut the other 2. This is our frame. So we have the 4 pieces. And the frame is going to sit on the outside. So there's a little bit of extra room for play. If you really want to get technical with it, you could even like cut the edges so that they lay within, but I don't think I'm gonna do all that. So I will probably cut an edge from there and an edge from there. All right, so now we have our frame, and what we're gonna do is cover them with pages from the magazine. So I just picked some random pages. You don't need the whole paper, but I think I'm gonna probably get 3 out of this. And what you'll do is cover the cardboard with the magazine page. Actually, probably better to put the glue on the cardboard than on the paper. And then you can take it and line it up. And then you'll flip it over. I'm going to cut this little extra off here. And then you can put glue on the outer parts and then glue it back and kind of hold it in place. You're gonna do this 4 more times. And bam, we got 4 frames done. Look at that. Now, you can stop the video right here because it's gonna move straight ahead. And you just spend this time making your frames and you can come back once you've done. Okay, got your 4 frames completed, got newspaper pages on top, and now they will fit nicely on your construction background. All right, just like that. And so now, I wouldn't glue my frame down at first. I would probably just leave it on the paper and then arrange your flowers how you want them in your picture. So decide how you want your flowers to look, and then you can incorporate your butterflies, and then you can start gluing down. So you're gonna put glue on one side and then press to hold it down in place. You'd be like, you didn't make all these flowers while you were sitting here. No, I did not. We made some in advance. I really don't have anything to say at this point, you know. We're gluing stuff down. All right. Glue down our butterflies. Just a little dab. Hold that down. Okay, and now we're going to glue down our frame. All right, so I'm putting glue on the back of my frame. You can probably try to put it over the flowers slightly so it looks like the flowers are within the frame. Bam, it's done. And now you have your completed flowers and butterflies. Thank you for joining us for our virtual drop-in workshop. I hope you enjoyed making art. I certainly did. And please share with us what you produce on our Instagram page. And I hope you'll join us for our next virtual drop-in workshop.